15 syllables, 300 grand, all in just a month. It doesn't get much better than that. Today, you're gonna learn how one hook banked me 316 grand and how you can do the same for your business. We're in the age of AI tools, big data, and optimization. And sometimes it can feel like the spirit of marketing has changed. It's no longer run by guys in suits smoking cigars in boardrooms. It's computers cracking the code of human behavior and you trying to figure out how to leverage those tools. Or at least, that's what everyone seems to think. The truth is, these tools serve to do only one thing, and that is getting your message to the right people. But guess what? It's still the message that matters. So saying the right thing is going to make the money pour in. The reason you should listen to me though is because last month I scaled a store from 40k to 140k. And earlier in the year I took a brand from 70k a month to 700k a month in just 1 month. And the reason I'm making this video is because I just don't believe there's many high level videos out there telling people how you can actually make more money and get results like this. People seem to cover the wrong topics over and over again without actually giving the source and the real details. And I wanted to make this video to show you that you can do this too, if you know how to research properly and you know how to write compelling marketing copy. And before I was doing this, I honestly thought that my results would come down to how good I was at making meta campaigns. I was spending hours and hours and hours a day inside my ad manager trying to get 1-2% extra results. So I'm going to explain in this video how you can get to these numbers and how it actually doesn't have to be as complex as you think. So for a bit of backstory, when I first started working with this client, they were only pulling in around 6k a month. That's barely a fraction of what my smallest clients make these days. We've been winning with them since the beginning. One of my earliest campaigns with them went so viral that even Forbes made an article about it. One of my earliest marketing campaigns for them was so good that Forbes made this article about it. That was just a few months into the contract, and I was able to 12x their revenue and get them a spotlight on one of the world's top publications. I'm sure I don't have to say this, but they're still and were a very happy client. Flash forward a little, and I've got them well into 6 figures. 316,000 a month, to be exact. That's a 52 times increase in revenue. And I achieved this with some clever creative work, ad account restructuring, and nailing the financials. Now maybe I'll get into all of that in future videos, but for now, I'll focus on what really matters, that one golden hook. At this point, I'd already 52x'd our client's revenue, and any sane man would still be coasting off that high, but I knew there was more money there. I could smell it. Now this is the kind of money you don't just stumble upon. You have to go outside the box. Half of my success comes from the fact that I listen to the masters. Cookie cutters do okay in this business, but you don't become the best without some secret sauce. I was listening to an interview with Robert Cialdini, and he was talking about a technique he used to stop his students from packing up too early. The secret was to wrap the lecture up in a mystery. At the start of a class, you introduce something to keep them curious. Maybe it's a story left on a cliffhanger. Maybe it's some kind of puzzle. It doesn't matter what format that story takes, just as long as it leaves them so curious that they can't leave the classroom without knowing. As soon as he started doing this, he found that students were alert and right at the edge of their seat from start to finish. They needed to know. It was like seeing a slot machine roll those 777s right in front of my eyes. I knew what to do. I could feel the money in my hands. If I could hook the viewers into watching my mashups, I could have them right in my pocket. But how did I come up with that golden hook? And how can you do the same? When you get to this level, you have to start thinking beyond the consumer. You have to speak to the crowd. You have to understand group psychology. Nowadays, my smallest clients are spending more money on ads than this client made in revenue. And it's not even close. And this comes from the fact that I know how to pull on the strings that make people buy. Now, all products need a different approach, and it all comes down to the needs of the consumer. And really, we're human. Our needs are simple. The hook has to be digestible enough so that someone scrolling through social media can understand it immediately. But it has to be intriguing enough to make them sit through the rest of the ad. I had already done a deep dive into our audience. I knew everything I needed to know about them. And for this hook, one of the key facts was that our audience loved America. And it's key to remember, you have to speak to your audience on a personal level, but still appeal to a broader audience. Bring them in to a group identity. Now, something like this needs a little bit of finesse, but I've been in this game long enough, so I know how to make it work. Now, the crown of creative is the hook, and it's this next hook which nets us $600K a month. And you're gonna be surprised about how simple this seems. The best hooks always are. Simplicity sneaks into the mind of a consumer. Simplicity is refinement, and it's what allowed me to double a six-figure revenue with just a pen stroke. The hook was how Ripley Raider pants have taken America by storm. I told you it would be simple, but let's think about what we have under the hood. We've got a brand name in there, a brand name which rolls off the tongue and sticks easily in the mind. We've got our appeal to group identity, bringing the social proof which affects every purchase. And we've got the mystery that pulls our audience in. They're listening to our pitch all the way through because they have to know how these pants are taking America by storm. All of this in a package with strong, punchy phrasing. Taken by storm. It's visual, it's aggressive, it's a winner. And the best part is we get all of this in just 15 syllables. I know what you're thinking. Can a simple hook really bring in 300K? And all I have to say to you is, the dollars don't lie.
Look at this graph!
And tell me the numbers aren't beautiful. 15 syllables, 300 grand. I'm talking turning thin air into gold. And you've been lucky enough to hear some of it. Right now, I'm speaking to the ones who are gonna watch this video and turn it into their own gold. You know who you are. You might be brand new to ecom, or you might be a 9-figure brand. It doesn't matter. The fact is, you're watching and you're listening. When this client came to me, they were only making 6 grand of revenue. And you wanna know what they're making at the time of this recording? I'll give you a hint. It's got 7 zeros behind it. If you think you've got a brand that can handle such rapid scaling, then click the link in the description and book a call. I think I might have what you need. But if not, check out some of my other videos. You'll be sure to learn something. And also, book in a call and I might be able to give you some good advice.